listening to The Mentality Show, only on LA Talk Radio.
All right, welcome back, all you Mentalians, for our 9th rendition of The Mentality Show, something like that, 9th or 10th show.
Yes, sir.
Time flies when you're having fun. This might be our 15th show, I don't know. But we are back, and we are ready to go. It's been a long week. How was your Mother's Day, gentlemen?
Beautiful.
Great?
Happy belated Mother's Day.
Enjoy time with your mothers and everything like that?
Family. It was great.
Right?
Yes,
good
sir.
food, good friends, good time, love, and everything like that.
Yes.
I forgot to mention last week, Mother's Day. I'm sorry. I wanted to tell all you listeners out there to enjoy your Mother's Day. I hope you did, and it's good to have you back, okay?
Horrible.
If it wasn't for our mothers, we would not be here, right?
Yep.
That's right.
And let's wait until Father's Day and, see how appreciative we are of our fathers, what kind of ties and rocks we're going to get them, So we are back. I'm your host, Delano. I got my man Vato V here in the house.
What's happening?
Vato V.
Yo.
Anything you want to say?
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, post Mother's Day.
Smart man.
Thank you.
I got my man Sexy Texy here. How you doing today?
Good.
That's right. Okay. If you notice somebody's missing, our boy Paulie is not here with us anymore. He's here on Earth, okay? He's still living. He's just moved on to, I guess you can say, bigger and better things. He's doing writing. He was always one of our show's writers and creators.
Right.
And now he's doing some bigger and better things. And we'll have him back here every now and then. But
Still love you, Paul.
Still love you, Paulie.
Always.
Okay. So you're going to see us, basically, and we may have another few guests here and there, and we're actually doing some auditioning to try to find a fourth member. So if you're someone and you feel like you're talented enough to be on this show, and you don't think you're better than me, then hey, we'd love to talk to you, maybe audition you. Okay.
That means crickets out there.
Never mind. I was going to apply, but forget it.
And then if you're wondering who this person is sitting here to my right, this is the beautiful Dr. Erin.
Erin.
Okay, Dr. Erin in the house is our beautiful guest today. We're going to tell you a whole lot of things about her here coming up. But let's tell the listeners what we have covered on our show, what we cover on our show here, basically. I mean, we cover everything. We got you covered everything here from Khloe Kardashian and what she's wearing to dating, love, and relationships with Dr. Erin.
There you go.
Okay, got you covered.
It rhymed.
I don't know where he's come from.
And then we got from the news about Trump and politics and all of the jive to why Delano hasn't been with a female since 2005.
What? That's a lie.
I believe that.
That's a lie.
Okay, 2006.
I believe that.
Oh man.
From the royal wedding this weekend with Prince Harry to why some women find Vato V a little scary.
A little scary. He is a little scary. He's scary. Are you scared of him, Doctor?
think
There's
it's
some
the mustache.
hooks. You guys got some serious hooks around here.
It's the mustache on him.
It's the stash.
Does he make you a little
Brocha.
nervous, Dr. Erin? So as I mentioned earlier, we have the beautiful Dr. Erin here with us today. She lives in Los Angeles. Are you from Los Angeles, Dr. Erin?
I am from Divine. No, I'm from Santa Barbara.
From Santa
Santa Barbara.
Oh, wow. Beautiful area. Beautiful area. She's a doctor and a new thought leader. She's also a best-selling author and mother. She's featured on magazines, radio, and she's been on radio and seen on NBC, CBS, Fox, and ABC. She's the author of Awakening. It's a 40-day guide to unleashing your spiritual powers, life's purpose, and manifesting your dreams. And with that, she mentioned earlier, there's also a free digital course and things like that she offers with that book that explains some of the things in the book as well.
I do. I just want to make the distinction that I'm a Doctor of Divinity. I'm not a Western medicine doctor. So very important to make that distinction.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Doctor of Divinity, a guru of, she's not a doctor of Western medicine, but a guru of truth and divinity. Did I say that right?
Everyone is a goddess and a guru. I'm going to teach you guys about that.
Awesome. She mentioned earlier what a guru was, and I was like, wow, I'm a fucking guru, man. She's going to explain it a little bit as how everyone who portrays the truth is a guru, and I was like, wow. With some women I've dated, I haven't been too guru-ish, but lately I've been a guru. So, and we also have some more information here. We're going to talk to our producer, Sammy. Go ahead and roll that video, Sammy. This is more information on Dr. Erin.
Hey guys, Dr. Erin here, teaching universal laws and spiritual truth. Everyone wants this romantic fairy tale love story. It's delusional. There's always somebody for everyone. If you need somebody to abandon you, you will find somebody that abandons. Being that which you seek. I've dealt with addiction. It was literally one of the hardest things I ever went through. No person is ever going to make and complete you. I don't care how many times you swipe right on Tinder. Men will come and go, these women, they just want me to take care of them. They want me to pay their bills. Well, first of all, you're showing up in your Ferrari. We need more men to cry, gosh darn it. The primary relationship is always within. Stop looking to the world. Love and relationships, health and vitality. Thrilled to just go on this awakening journey with you as we do this together.
All right, so you just saw the video there, and we also want to mention that Dr. Erin, she mentors people on a one-on-one, on a body and mind spiritual level. She believes that when someone awakens, they naturally have a gift and message to bring to the world. And she's also worked with a wide list of clients from top celebrities to single mothers. She also believes that the route to happiness is not just knowing the truth, but living the truth. Ain't that the truth?
Ain't that the truth?
Ain't that the truth?
Profound.
Say it, girl. Say it, baby.
Oh, yeah.
So, Dr. Erin, in your book, I wanted to ask you this, my first question. In your book, you say your mission is to awaken 1 billion people globally to their divinity while teaching them how to reprogram their subconscious and align with their spiritual truth and universal laws and create a daily spiritual practice. Now, please explain to our audience what you mean by that.
That means have a fucking good time. Just kidding. No, honestly.
I love it. Thank you.
That was awesome.
That means lighten the F up.
Yeah, that's right.
No,
That's right.
I think everybody needs to lighten the F up.
but honestly,
Shit,
I mean,
that is awesome.
it's totally doable. I mean, at first, when I first wrote that mission statement, I was like, you're crazy. Like, that ain't ever going to happen. You're delusional. But no, it actually can happen. I mean, with, I'm a host of Good Morning La La Land, and we're touching a lot of people. And the butterfly effect of what we all do on these shows and the conscious conversation affects people profoundly, and how that affects people around them, definitely 1 billion people. I'm going higher than that.
Yes, absolutely. Billion, however many people are on this earth. And yes, I forgot to mention that earlier. You are the host of a morning talk show, Good Morning La La Land.
Yep,
and
Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. for 1 hour.
At 9 a.m. for 1 hour. So if you want to know just everything about truth and divinity and love and relationships and everything, this is the person you want to talk to. This is the show you want to watch.
I'm the woman.
That's right. That's right.
Man, as you know, we cover those type of things on our show on a daily basis, or every show we cover these type of things. So, getting into that, my question basically is, they say that married men live longer than single men. Okay, now
Good topic.
now my belief is that that's not true. I just believe married men feel like they live longer than single men. That's my thing,
The
because
single men are just tired. Let's face the fact. They're like out there chasing. They're like, I'm tired. I'm going. I'm bailing out.
I need some rest. Just kill me already. So they say, that's the truth, or that's what happens, because I guess married men have wives and people who take care of them and look out for their health, and make sure they go to the hospital and get their prostate checked and all that type of stuff.
So I was thinking on the way, when I knew I was coming on the show, and I was like, the mentality show. I was like, okay, this is going to be hilarious, because I don't know how deep you guys want to go today or whatever, but
deep.
I mean, when you truly
Balls,
go,
balls,
right? So when you go, really, when you have a spiritual awakening, for me anyway, it's really a true identity shift is what the process of awakening really is. And so I don't identify as a woman, a man, anything. I've got this body that is supposedly a woman. Of course, it's a woman, but I'm not my body, so I don't, so all this stuff and all the way men are when they're married or not married or all that, we're going to talk about that. But I think it's important to know that these are all programs. It's like a computer, like we're literally like a computer, and we have software, and we've had like we're getting uploads, right? It's a little glitchy with the upload, we're getting uploads, and the programming around if you're good, whether you're married or not, is going to shift. It's shifting right in front of our eyes. But I think the point of that and the science behind that fact that men do better in marriage is actually just that they're more in alignment with harmony and feeling supported and having community, probably. It doesn't mean they have to be married or not married.
Right.
It's that they feel like they are in a harmonious environment.
Like they belong, basically.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go, ladies.
And as a single man,
Thank you.
and when I say single, I mean not married. I'm actually in a relationship, but when I say single, I mean not married. Let me just say that for the record, because my girl, she gets pissed off at me every show. You just said you were single. No, I mean not married, okay? As a single man and not married, but in a relationship, I can still have that sense of belonging, right?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. I feel like I belong to several different women sometimes. You know? There's nothing wrong with that, right?
He's in a relationship where he belongs to several women.
Yeah, so...
Or maybe she's in a relationship, multiple people.
There you go.
Hey.
Multiple personality, I don't know.
His answer to that would be, I'm an actor.
I might need therapy after this. Doctor.
Call us in.
And another question I have for you is, they say, and please tell me if this is true or not. They say that
Who are they? Just curious.
statistics say. I'm going to say most
Statistics.
women that I talk to.
guy.
Most women that I talk to. Okay, these are my statistics.
He makes yeah.
They say.
Survey says.
By the way, you can say anything, make up any statistic, and say 93% of people.
You should change it from that to the programming that I have been, interjected with through the Matrix.
My Matrix.
I like that. The programming I've been interjected with through the Matrix has told me that when a woman meets a man and within conversation, within 5 minutes of the conversation, she knows whether she's going to sleep with that guy or not. Is this true? A lot of women say this.
Well, first of all, I think we may be talking about intuition, maybe more than some stat.
As long as he doesn't mess up, she's gonna give him the draws, right?
Well, I mean, these are like funny questions if you think about it, because I mean, we're talking about our culture, or which culture are you talking about, right?
So this is women. I date all kinds of women: white women, black women, Hispanic.
All of the above.
Yeah, exactly. Viking.
Right.
Vikings.
Yeah. I think that women know intuitively if they have it for somebody or not. But whether they are saying I'm going to sleep with them or not is another decision of their belief systems and their value systems and all that stuff. So I can't speak for whether they say I have feelings for someone and therefore I'm going to sleep with them tonight. I don't know what that stat is.
See, it's interesting because men, we don't even have to know you. We could just look, and not even 5 minutes, within a second, we can see a blur of a nice ass and be like, oh, okay, I'll sleep with that, And then next thing you know, it might be a dude or something, So, and then we have to reprogram ourselves within the matrix and say, okay, I'm a man, okay, I'm not like that. So, so it's interesting that women, they don't really need much. I mean, men, we don't really need much time, but women, they have to have all this time to figure out whether they're going to actually.
Okay, so we need to think about the Matrix here for a minute.
Let's think about the Matrix.
Let's get our Matrix hats on, right?
Okay.
So we have to think about where we've come from as far as our evolution of the actual physical aspect of ourselves, right? So obviously, women are here. We're the selectors. We forgot this, women, just so you know. We're supposed to select what sperm goes inside, right?
Yeah.
And the men are supposed to
Unless
just
you date Bill
basically...
Unless you're dating Bill Cosby.
or around him.
And men are here to try and, spread their seed, if you will. So, obviously, I mean, these are basic biological things. And, I mean, it's not hard to figure out any of this stuff. I mean, it's like basic 101 of male and female, procreation but the point, I think, is to hopefully get past that and have free will and not be used by your genes, but actually, be able to create and evolve to wherever you want to go.
And take off the jeans.
That's interesting. I basically, as a man, when you think about the deepness of what you just said, you don't think about that. You just go with how you feel and what you want and stuff like that. And when you see a good, it was funny. I was out on a date. Actually, I was out with my girlfriend this weekend, and she and we've been dating for a short amount of time. very loyal woman, comes across very loyal. But we're out eating, and I remember another gentleman walks past her, and she's talking to me. She all of a sudden gives him an up and down look, like she checks him out really, really fast.
Oh, yeah.
And she, like she almost lost her wording. She didn't really know. We were in the middle of a conversation. She couldn't finish her words. I guess this guy was that good looking to her. And I noticed it, and I said to myself, should I say something to her about this?
Why?
And I actually did. I was like, hey, I saw you checking that guy out. You know, I saw it. I'm not as a jealous, but we laughed and talked about it. We communicated about it. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, she checked out a guy. She got caught checking out a guy. So when I get caught checking out a female, I get a free pass here, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I kept thinking, you know? So
So are you that good where she didn't notice it? Because I'm sure you do it.
the way you do it is
sunglasses on or what?
you have to watch, you have to put your eye vision before the path of where she's walking. So if a woman's walking by me, instead of just watching that woman walk, I'll turn my head slightly within the path of where she's walking, and then it'll look like she's just walking within the path of my eyesight. And that way my woman can't say I'm checking her out. Like, what do you mean?
You got
She
a lot of
just
time in
walked
Arkansas to think about this shit, right?
But this is the conversation, really. I mean, we're talking about pretty much being the effect of this stuff or being the cause of it. That's basically what it comes down to. And, you know, I was codependent for a majority of my life. I literally, it was like, you know, I looked to somebody to complete me, and I would find all the reasons of why it was a deal breaker. You know, he was looking at somebody who walked by, or did he cheat, or did he not pay me enough attention, or, you know, X, Y, and Z, whatever that was. And it was always not good enough.
Right.
And I think the point is that hopefully we come to a place in life where we realize that we're human beings and no one's going to be our Prince Charming per se. There's going to be a deal breaker at some point in time for everybody.
Yes,
and where for me, I had to go, I can't put this relationship and that standard as my focus of what's going to make me happy or not happy in life.
Absolutely.
It's exhausting.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
I always say, as a single person, you know, people ask, you know, well, why aren't you married? Why aren't you married? It's because I've taken my time. Okay, it's not there's something's wrong with me. I've just simply taken my time to find the right person. I'm not, you know, I want to develop my own happiness within myself, and I depend on someone else to make me happy. And I think that's why we did a show on the pros and cons of marriage and why so many marriages end in divorce. And I believe the reason why that is because after that honeymoon phase, you know, we're all happy within that honeymoon phase, but after that some of that happiness goes away, and then all of a sudden people are in that situation where they're like, okay, well, what do we do now? And they don't fight for one another and fight to stay together, and now they're miserable and single because they're depending on someone else to make them happy. So as long as you're happy within yourself, you're fine.
How long does the honeymoon stage last in a relationship?
I think that there's science backing of how long that oxytocin goes on, and you're supposed to bond during that oxytocin time, and then, you know, hopefully you've bonded enough in that oxytocin that it sustains for a a little longer. But I don't know. I think it's. don't know the research.
Does penis size matter as far
I'm
as?
sure it definitely matters.
Yeah, I think for each inch gives you a year.
A year or two.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, I mean,
in that case, I have about 8 years of happiness.
We're looking for those, like, you know, the next, like, I call it, like, for people that are addicted to that high of that, you know, first initial thing in relationship. It's like your heroin of it's just the same. They say it's the same as cocaine in the brain, and, you know, so it's fine if that's what you're, you know, as long as everyone's authentic about it. But if not, then like, what's going to sustain that longer? I don't know. Hopefully, maybe a mission that you guys both like, or, you know, something for the highest good. But I believe that the only reason that relationships are really here to have us heal and birth something to the earth, not meaning a child per se, but birth something that a creative factor, you know, a mission, whatever that is that you guys are up to. Otherwise, to just let me feel my senses and, you know, complete my, it's not going to last. It's like, this bitch ain't never going to be happy, okay? Let's just straight right now. It's not going to sustain itself.
Here's a question. Chivalry. With all the social media going on now, you know, with all these online dating and stuff like that, do you think it's dead? Swipe left, swipe right.
Oh, it's a great question.
Thank you.
That's a great question. I mean, I think that both parties, obviously, I mean, how the standards of how you do one thing in life, you usually do everything. So what I think is, I notice with clients that how they do one thing literally, you know, goes into all areas. So if you are organized and causing harmony and doing good things, it will go into your relationships. It's not like someone's going to be like all together in life and then they date and they're like a hot mess. Like it usually is through the whole thing. So chivalry, is it dead? I don't know. I mean, it's as sane as our culture is. So if it's insane, yeah, there's probably not going to be a lot of chivalry.
There's so much I can open the door for a person. I'm not going to be opening the door all the time, so or pull out a chair for this person all the time because I want to sit down as well. So,
but is it authentic? So for you,
Right.
if you are you married?
No, I'm single.
Okay, so if you're dating, and it's month one, how much are you doing, chivalrous stuff versus 2 years into it?
Right. So yeah, we're trying to impress somebody, so we're trying to get laid. That's the thing, right? That's pretty much what it is. So we're trying to impress somebody, and then but how that thing dies out. It does die out. I think it does die out. Chivalry.
So if you just want to get laid, why don't you just go pay for it?
No, I can't do that. Hell no.
That's a whole nother show.
I mean, because that doesn't make any sense to try and do all that just for that one thing.
But we are paying. We're still paying for. We're paying for dinner. We're paying for the rest
What
of
about
on the
dating?
chance to get laid.
Exactly.
You may not get laid. But yeah, I actually disagree with what you just said, Vato V, that you open doors and things like that in the beginning just to impress and get. I'm someone who it's instilled in me chivalry, opening the doors and doing what I can for a woman. And this is even for a woman that I'm not dating. If I see a woman walking, behind me and I'm approaching the door, I'm going to open the door and have that woman walk through first.
That's a good deal.
And I'm not even trying to have sex with that woman, but if I'm trying to have sex with her, I'm going to do extra. I'm not just going to open the door. I'm going to,
You're going to open the door for him.
I still open the door for my wife, not all the time, but I do it.
Right.
And like you said, if there's a person walking behind, I hold the door open. I do that.
Yeah.
I tell women that I
me.
date, I tell them, look, if I'm on a first date and they open the door, I say, look, as long as you're with me, don't even open the door. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Don't even open that door because, expect me to do this for you. And you should be like that with other men that you, once it doesn't work out between you and I. Once I get what I
don't
want.
like the whole shoulds. You shouldn't should on yourself.
Oh, because you feel like I'm being.
No,
telling her.
I feel like it's a personal thing. Like, I don't think shoulds or I think it's really ridiculous, especially women out there. Let me just talk to you. I think it's ridiculous that we have standards for our partners or people we're dating that we don't have standards for ourselves. And I think that the number one thing when people come and they're having relationship issues, it's like, okay, write down everything you want in a relationship and then now ask yourself, are you all those things?
Yes. Yes. Can you repeat that, please, for our,
Yeah, right?
for our audience members? Yes.
Honestly.
Absolutely.
If you're watching
Write
YouTube,
down.
rewind it.
Yes.
10 seconds and re-listen.
Absolutely.
It's really ridiculous.
Yes.
And same with, I mean, I have men will come and they'll go, oh, all these women, they're gold diggers. They want me for my money. And it's like I say this, like I said it on the little trailer. That's like you're showing up in your Ferrari.
Exactly.
And then you wonder, and you're dating, 20 years younger than you. Like
exactly.
I mean,
you are what you attract. Absolutely. Yeah. You present yourself to a woman like, oh, why are you seeing this guy when I can offer you this and I can offer you that? And then you get this woman and she's expecting these things, and now you're complaining that she's a gold digger.
Yeah, it's a transactional relationship versus a transcending relationship. So, it's fine. If you want a transaction, go, I want sex, you want dinners, okay, let's figure this out,
Right.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. You just need to know this is the game we're up to. We're in a transactional thing here, right? It's a different thing to go, we're going to, have something bloom within this for the highest good. We're going to transcend, we're going to heal, we're going to grow something that is meaningful.
Right.
This is a transcending relationship.
Right.
It's just clear, I don't know why people can't just talk and go, this is where I am in life.
Right.
It's like we want our kids to be able to do drawing crayons, get the crayons out and be like, let's just get real here. Let's get really simple and back to basic. This is where I am and this are my needs and this is what I want.
Right.
What do you want? It's not that hard.
I think a lot of men are afraid that if they're just not brutally, but they're just open and honest with certain women, they're not going to get what they want out of the deal.
Thank you for saying that.
Mm-hmm. It's the truth. I'm a guru.
Okay.
I'm a truth guru.
So I had a friend, and he was married, and they were having an open marriage, basically. He would go and be with a bunch of women and sleep with them and blah, blah, blah. His wife was gay. She had a woman, girlfriend. And I said, what are you guys doing? He said, we're staying together for the kids. And I said, well, okay, that makes really no sense. And they know energetically that it's not authentic and something's going on. So
Right.
you can do whatever you want. But if I were you, I would just consider just being authentic and being you. And I promise you that the laws of the universe, there's a perfect, match wherever it is for you.
Right.
So lo and behold, they got a divorce, and he was very polyamorous, like many girlfriends. He found a woman that liked that as well, and they dated. They're engaged, and they, have partners. And I'm not advocating that, because
So
I
lucky
think
man.
that I'm not advocating that. I think there's all expressions of love and sex, and I think as long as there's no one's being hurt or whatever, that everyone's entitled to that. I'm personally am not polyamorous, but I do think that it is something that we need to evolve to, because we have different species, if you will, on this planet, right? But the point is this, is that I disagree. I disagree. I think the more authentic you are, the more you're going to find that there is so many people that will love you exactly as you are.
So you don't have to lie, people. You have to be honest.
Tell the
Or
truth.
it's not lying, it's more just holding back. And then, eventually the real person you are is going to come out in that relationship.
They come out anyway,
They
right?
come out, and then you realize either I wasted, so you're so right, because you realize, oh man, I wasted all my time with this person. Had they told me this in the beginning, then, I could make that decision, But back to this guy who gets these women polyamorous. You made a good point. Do you believe that it's impossible for a person to just be with one person for the rest of their lives? Do you believe that?
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. I just kidding. People go, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I go and tell you this, or I don't know if I should ask you this. I go, look, the only thing that would ever surprise me or be like shock is like to hear of two people coming together in pure bliss, pure love, and having it last a lifetime.
Right.
No,
Exactly.
it does happen.
It happens, we believe. Yeah. It happened more back in the days, back in the maybe past centuries, but I think these days with social media and just so much temptation and people are so connected to one another these days, it just makes it so hard to do that.
Not in my days.
Yeah, not in your days.
We're good. No.
You're a little bit younger than me.
Well,
right?
the younger generations, clearly we are actually seeing a cultural shift in relationships and in marriages and everything else. And they say that basically the age that people get married is getting older and older, and that there's the perception, the programming, if you will, has changed so much. They've taken some stats and surveys of millennials, and they have found that a lot of them think, there should be like 5-year contracts on marriages, and they should be, or there should be, open. And I don't have the answers, but what I do know is this: is that harmony is always going to prevail. So anytime there's community and support, that is going to prevail. And so whether that is in a marriage or in circles of polyamorous people, so be it. I don't have an opinion on that.
Yeah.
I just teach the universal law.
Yeah, I agree with that. I believe as long as this person is not a child, an animal, and you have consent, then hey, do what you do.
Free will.
Be happy. Be happy. So what do you think is a good age to get married?
Oh gosh,
your
I would
opinion?
never have an opinion on that.
Yeah?
No.
Yeah?
Well, I don't. I
For
would
men,
say
men.
majority of people are not really prepared for marriage. Personally, I just think that it's most of the time people are getting married out of a delusional thought that it's going to complete their life.
Yeah.
So I would say 80% of people getting married should not be getting married.
Yes.
So that's just because they're looking at it for all the wrong reasons.
Yes.
I was one of those. Yeah.
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah, and I believe the main reason is because people are depending on other people too much to make them happy.
Yeah, or they
don't
go and they
have
go
that
on
happiness
Instagram.
within
They see some
themselves.
filtered pictures of happy couples.
There you
Like
go.
that's
Yeah.
not reality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like is work always just blissful and perfect? No, it's hard.
Right.
There's obstacles. There's challenges. Same with a relationship. It's not like, and people go, oh, it shouldn't be this difficult. What do you mean it's not supposed to be this difficult?
Very
Like where
difficult.
in life is it not difficult? Like this is life.
Yeah.
Because you have
Absolutely.
to compromise.
Yeah, like anything, business or whatever, you want it to work, you want it to be successful, you have to be able to be willing to put in work,
Yeah.
So what's your story, Doctor? You mentioned that you were one of those people. I mean, do you want to get into that?
Oh, sure. Like as far as being married and being young and
Right.
being stupid?
Yeah. And
I got
what
a lot
made
of
you-
those stories. Which one do you want?
Well, what made you become the Doctor, the guru that you are today?
Oh gosh, well, really, if you look at my kind of story, it stems around I had a stillborn at 22 years old. So I was 9 months pregnant, and I was in nursing school, and my baby stopped moving one day, and they say in what to expect when you're expecting, that if your baby stops moving, you should go get it checked out.
Right.
And so I went and got it checked out, and my son had died inside of me, and I had to go into labor, and I was like,
Right.
you mean I got to go into labor and give birth to my dead baby's
Yeah.
body. Okay,
Wow.
let's do this thing, and you go in, and 6 hours later you have your baby, and they're like, bathe your dead baby, take pictures with your dead baby, all this stuff. It was like,
Oh, wow.
and then you go home without your dead baby. And I was like, what the hell? So I went down the next morning, and I was literally insane. Like I don't even know where my parents were. I was 22, like it was ridiculous. And I go, and I go to the mortician's house, and I was like, oh, I didn't get enough pictures with my baby. And he was like, oh, sweetheart, And he goes, your baby's been in formaldehyde for 24 hours,
Oh, my
and
God.
but if you want to see the body, you can. And they prepared the room down in the basement, and I went in, and it was just one of those moments with me and God, if you will. And I went, how can life be so cruel? And, and just was that big lump in your throat where you're like, this is like, just, you feel so alone.
Right.
And it just was one of those moments, like I was just crying and crying and crying. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait, he's not here, but his body's here.
Right.
We're not these bodies.
Right.
And it just sent me on a huge commitment. So I have no sadness around it whatsoever, because of course I've done a lot of the work on it, and that's what gave me the gift of awakening. And so it's the biggest blessing. That was the biggest blessing of my life.
Right.
Wow.
His soul, he's not here, but his body's here. So his soul is.
We're eternal spiritual beings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Surreal.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's to me when I've gone to funerals and stuff like, and I see obviously your loved ones in a box. It's like, where do they go? It's so like weird. I don't know. It's an unexplainable, situation. But then I start thinking like, man, that's gonna be me one of these days. So where do they go? I have no idea. It's just, I guess, the fear of the unknown. Where do we go from there?
Yeah.
So it's pretty
Well,
crazy.
I believe that we're here for one thing. We're here for growth. We're here to actually have this cool, incredible physical experience of showing us how we're using our consciousness and form.
Right.
So like everything you look around, we've created, right? Even Mother Earth, if you think about it, your consciousness is not just your consciousness. Your consciousness is the collective consciousness and the cosmic consciousness. So everything in the entire universe has been created from source. So it's this cool school, this playground to go, oh, I get to create and use my consciousness to move this water bottle, right? So when we leave these bodies, we get to still create and use our consciousness. It's going to be an advanced school without in the physical stuff, right? So that's where we want to learn how to use our mentality,
There
the
you go.
mentality
Yeah.
show. That's where we want to use our mental abilities as much as we can to get in tune with people that we're, so not just having sex, but like the real merging of two souls. Like imagine you're with somebody and yeah, you can have sex, but imagine you have such great intimacy that you actually can like read each other's vibes and mind, and it's like this whole ecstasy that you've never experienced before. I mean, spiritual sex is way more fun than just objective sex, and that's cool too, whatever, but
Yeah. So you're saying we can possibly share each other's consciousness, basically. So that means I share my consciousness with Vato V and Tech C.
Yeah, spiritual
I do
sex.
not want your consciousness. I do not want this man's consciousness. I know this man personally.
Homo.
I do not want any part of her consciousness. Keep it away.
I'll talk to you later.
Vato V.
Let's go have a drink after.
But
that's
these guys,
awesome.
right? They walk in the room and they're having a good day or a bad day. They don't have to say one single thing, and
That's true. That's true. I've been knowing these guys for years. I know how they are. I know, when they're having bad days. Even on the phone when I talk to this guy, I can tell when he's having a bad day.
Even the text.
And I haven't you can feel it.
Yeah. So that's a beautiful thing. Yeah. There's a difference between sex and intimacy. Some people want to call sex intimacy, and it's not that. That intimacy is when it's subconscious and it reaches your consciousness. And is that almost like tantric sex, sort of?
I'm not trained in tantric sex, but
is it tantric or tantric sex? Is it?
tantric.
Tantric. I said
Yeah,
it right.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've been reading on that. Something I'd like to try, yeah, that's pretty deep. I guess that's what you call making love, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess
when you make that connection, that mental connection with someone. Yeah. Interesting.
Look into their eyes.
Vato V says, "I'm making love with you, baby."
That's right, baby. That's right. Oh yeah.
Now, Texie, he's married, so he's someone who's very much in love. Is this something you experienced with the wife?
It's a married guru.
Yeah. Married guru.
Yeah, sometimes we connect and sometimes we don't.
Can you have a question for the doctor regarding some things?
Yeah, sure. I think we talked about it though. We talked about the dating, the chivalry, and I was asking about about when people are dating, like the nowadays with who pays, like.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
We go back to chivalry, like it's a guy, but with social media,
I think
everything else.
It's confusing. I think it's confusing, especially right now with the Time's Up Now and women's rising movement and all that. It's confusing because it's like, okay, wait, you girls, you want equal pay, but you don't want to pay when you go on a date.
Exactly.
So right. So this is a very this is a very important conversation.
Okay, breaking news. Let's pause
right?
it. Please, all you women out there, please listen. I think Dr. Erin's about to say something I agree with.
Okay.
He's got to adjust.
Yes.
I want to preempt this with that each and every single person has their own thing that works for them or doesn't work for them. Each relationship has their own decision to make of what is right or wrong or what works for them money-wise, okay? So that being said, that I truly believe that there's two different conversations. Just because, say, a woman doesn't make as much as a man or does make as much as a man doesn't mean that she should or should not pay for as much or the equal. Those are two different conversations because they're different aspects of life. In traditional way of relationship, we were talking about a roles. There was roles. Okay, those roles are being. We have all new roles going on, and the struggle is that where do we keep the roles, and still have the masculine, feminine within that relationship, but still have equality in work. They're two different conversations, right? So. As a man, I don't think you should try and say, women, you should this. What you actually should be doing is pointing the finger back at yourself. And this goes for women as well. Stop pointing the finger at the man. He should pay, or I expect this, whatever, what he did. No, it's called point the finger back at yourself and say, what works for me?
Oh, yeah.
And how, because we train the people in our lives. We set our own standards, and if you show up 10 dates into it and you're paying for everything, guess what? You set that standard. Like that's going to be, that's how you set that. If you go into it and say, I truly believe that a true partnership should be really true equality on money wise, whatever that is for you. Right. But establish that within yourself and establish that right away in a relationship.
So you have to be confident when you tell that woman, look, I believe in equal, we should treat each other equally, and that includes financially when it comes to going out on dates and things like that. You should pay sometimes and I should pay sometimes. It depends on sometimes what's going on in life as well. But if you say that to some women, they immediately, especially in the beginning, they look at you like, oh, he's a cheapo, or he's trying to set it up where, he doesn't have to pay. And then they go tell a girl, can you believe this man comes to me and tells me that he can't pay for this and this and that? And now all of a sudden, but the plus side of that is at least you're ridding yourself of a person with that kind of attitude, because that's not someone
no, because I'm not saying that the man shouldn't pay every time. Because if say that you're going, okay, I'm dating, I'm dating to create a team here, to create a family.
Right.
And I know that this woman, maybe I'm planning on having children with her, and I want her to actually stay home, and I want to take the role of the finances, and I want her to take that role for however long or whatever. This is an individual decision. I'm not saying that women and men should be equal and pay it going out or not. I don't have an opinion on it, quite frankly. I just feel that everyone needs to get authentic and start looking at themselves and being who they are.
Be like, baby, we're going Dutch.
I'll find a woman that takes care of you.
And exactly. Yeah.
I believe personally, believe that.
I know the guys do it.
Yeah.
As someone who's dating and single or whatnot, not married, when I was dating, I feel that at least, especially the first date, you should pay, and then continue to pay, and then every once in a while it's okay. Every once in a while it's okay. Or it would be nice for the woman to say, you know what, baby, I got this. Don't worry about it. I know you had a long day. Whatever,
Yep.
I got this. Special occasion, whatever. And I also believe if a woman invites you somewhere, if she says, hey, let's go out and do this, then she's basically telling you,
I'm going to pay.
I'm going to pay. Not, let's go out and do this. Let's go to, Santa Barbara or whatever and spend the weekend. And all of a sudden you get there and you're paying everything from parking to,
She looks at you like,
yeah. He's like, but didn't you want to do it? Didn't you invite me? No. I mean, am I wrong for thinking that?
I totally get it. I'm gonna face
These
the
are
fact.
the type of women I deal with
If I was
these
a
days.
man, because I go, okay, I have to think. I think the ladies should think about what they would do if they were the man. Because if I was a man, I wouldn't be okay with paying for everything. I'd be like, bitch, you gotta So I think it's important though, and also to know that if you are truly, for me, I'm kind of, I'm a little bit old school like that. I do like a man to pay, but I also feel like if I don't pay every once in a while, and if I don't do things like, I do cook, so I would make some meals for every time that we're going out, whatever that is, or doing some gesture. I think that nobody, man or woman, wants to feel like they're doing it all and the other person isn't doing it. Right. And the reality is that it either works or it doesn't work. You're either going to vibe or it's not. We know that in relationships, money and sex are the biggest, areas of conflict. And the reality is that most people just get more and more resentful. Right. And so the most important thing, again, is not to look at the woman to go, oh, you're doing whatever. You would need to look at yourself and go, I'm paying, I'm starting to get resentful. This is not going to end well.
Yeah. I think in relationships, maybe 30% of the time, maybe the opposite sex should pay for wherever the hell we're going.
But this is all old school if you think about it,
Yeah,
right? It's like these standards. Like, who made these standards?
Right.
I think start questioning it,
right.
Like
you're paying today.
Well, back in the days when, like you mentioned, you hit on it earlier, men were the ones who go out there and they're the breadwinners. They bring in the money, and the women would stay at home and take care of the kids and cook, and that whole old-fashioned thing. And nowadays, women want it all. They don't want to cook. They don't want to have the kids, but they still want the man to be the breadwinner.
Come on,
and that's what we're dealing with today.
Never this and that, but you still got to pay. Okay, I'm broke. I'm broke baller.
No, that's craziness.
I forgot to mention this earlier. If you want to chime in to all of our listeners out there, please call. And that's probably why we have 818-570-5085. That's 818-570-5085. The number might be on your screen here.
I think the best thing, honestly, to get just completing that conversation is to have a conversation. Within the first, month of a relationship, you should probably talk about money.
Yes.
What do you think about this? What do you think is right with when should someone pay or not pay? And getting clear on what people think. So it's like, a relationship is just agreements. Right. That's all. It's really a contract and agreements.
It's a lease with the option to buy.
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, wait till after you get in those pants.
I know.
Let's talk about money.
You should have that conversation before you get in the pants, because then you're hooked and you're like, oh no, this sucks. I can't.
That is good, man. I pay for it.
That's awful, you guys. This is so bad.
You said then you're hooked. Now it depends. We mentioned earlier inches are involved in this thing. No, is it true that the size of a man? Since we're getting dirty here,
oh god,
is the size of a man, what he's working with, the more into that man that woman will be. Is that true? Does penis size matter is what I'm saying.
I would. This is my opinion on it. That again, look, I'm sure women are all different sizes as well. There's whatever there. But that's really awkward.
That's true. Women are different.
I didn't know what to say with that. But no. So
men, there's whatever.
Yeah. I think that when you have not had really intimate sex, that size matters, because you're like, you're still just thinking about kind of this really, objectifying. You're looking at someone's body. You're looking at, but as you really truly make true intimate contact, and how people move and what there's amazing things can happen in weird places. You know what I'm saying? But so I don't think that. I think that there's extreme sizes that are probably way too small and too big, quite frankly. So that's not good. But in between there, I think it really depends on people to really learn how to groove together.
You can be big or small, and if the person doesn't climax, then you didn't do your job right.
Yeah, it's the motion in the ocean. That's what people with small penises say. It's the motion in the ocean.
It's not the
C-Tech got a little upset when I brought brought that up. I don't know why he gets upset when I bring up penis size. But, I think I know, but
There was another personality that used to get upset, not me.
But how cool is it that we get to talk about spirituality, penis size, and this is modern
With
spirituality
Dr.
as far
Erin.
as I'm concerned, because I think
right.
it's so old school. And I do believe that there was a reason why the church would ask people to not get married, have sex till they became married, because it's really all those issues. You know, when you start sleeping together and the oxytocin and all this stuff happens, and you haven't had the conversation about money, you haven't had the conversation about these things, and then you're energetically entangled with somebody.
Right.
Like you should have thought about that stuff before you did the deed.
And then it all goes to shit.
see, I feel like men before sex, that's when we're at our most vulnerable and nicest, and we're going to give you your way.
Hear that, women? There you go. Get your claws in. Negotiate the deal before.
Negotiate the deal. Yes. I'm sorry, man. I'm giving out. I'm telling our business here, but yes.
Top secret.
Women, if you want your way, do
Classified.
it before you sleep with that man. So
They're gonna come with a contract. Well, here it is.
looks like we got a few more minutes left.
Get them outside.
So my last question to you, Dr. Erin. Thank you so much for joining us today. by the
Oh,
way.
you guys are
Erin,
so
thank you very
fun.
You were
much. Thank
so
you.
awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
thank
before the show, I was like, oh, we got this nice, classy doctor.
Now you're like,
And-
she's
classy. She's so classy.
and she's still classy.
She's
in the
real.
gutter.
Yes. But she was like, guys, please just talk about whatever this is your show.
Love it.
You talk
Yeah.
about whatever you want to talk about.
And I want to hear
I'm not
more
gonna
about
get-
you guys. Like before the show, we kind of got into it, and there's some deep stuff going around in these consciousness. I think that they
we talked
keep it a
before
little
the show.
light sometimes, but I think
Yeah.
they have a lot of personal stories that would really touch and
definitely.
move you guys. Big
You
time.
know me. You think you know me, but you don't know me. and Dr. Erin, one last question. What makes a man sexy? And we have like 1 minute to answer that question. What makes a man
Well,
sexy?
in
Just
my
say
opinion,
Delano. You know?
Yeah, in my opinion,
Just say Della.
Say, like, and the show's over.
Say Della, no.
Della, hell no. No, it's gonna be like Della, hell no.
there's one
Not
thing,
the-
one thing, and one thing only that I think makes it's the most sexy thing.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you that comes down to one single thing.
Money. No, just
That helps. That helps. Not gonna lie. Consciousness.
consciousness.
But with consciousness, success comes. So of course, money comes. Consciousness meaning a very evolved man that knows who he is, and is very confident in that. And when you're
Confidence.
that, you can't help but have good health and good and success and money, because that's just part
That's
of the deal.
a great answer.
You know,
That's the best answer.
just because you said that, I'm gonna write a book about myself. I'm gonna write about
How to not gain consciousness. Okay, so it looks like that's our show. Let's thank you, Dr.
Thank you,
Erin.
Dr.
Erin.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
Thanks so much, you guys. That went by
You're
so
awesome.
fast.
Is it? When you're having fun, I'm telling you, time flies, man.
That's right.
So what did we learn today? We learned that just be honest with one another.
honest.
Work on your
Consciousness.
consciousness. Work on your confidence. Basically being truthful. Your
yeah.
truth. Be your
yourself.
own guru. You know.
Stop
'Cause
being a
Don't
little
be
bitch and
mental.
don't lie.
Have a healthy
exactly.
mentality.
Have a healthy great. Have a healthy
Love it.
mentality.
That's right.
So that's our show. You can catch us on YouTube and all the other social media websites. You can catch Dr. Erin on her show Good Morning La La Land.
Or
You
you
can
can go
catch
to
her
DrErin.tv.
Dr. Erin.
And you get 30 free guided meditations. You can watch the show on the app.
Perfect.
It's all free.
There you
Check
go.
her out. Check her out.
Check her out.
Awesome.
And Good Morning La La Land every morning, Monday through Friday at
On
9
YouTube.
a.m.
I watch it on YouTube.
Yeah,
so.
No,
YouTube,
it's pretty
yes.
good, guys.
It's a really good
Awesome.
show. And now that's our show. One more time, Dr. Erin.
Dr.
Thank
Erin,
you.
thank you.
Thanks, you
You were
guys so
awesome.
much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And remember, all you Mentalians out there, you're good.
But with our help,
You
can
could be
be
the
great.
best. We'll see you next week.
That's so cute. Adorable. That went by so fast.
Yeah.
You're listening to The Mentality Show, only on LA Talk Radio.